Hi friends, it's Mary Ellen Siegler with Massachusetts Informed Parents. I wanted to let you know that just because your students are not in school and participating in their sex education health classes right now, it does not necessarily mean that they are not being exposed to the same content. Proponents of comprehensive sexuality education have continued their efforts to sexualize our children. Here's a copy of an email from SIECUS. SIECUS is the Sexuality Information and Education Council of the United States. And this email that they sent out is titled, "We Persist Even Amid a Pandemic." So in the email, they go on to say that they will stop at nothing from pursuing their goal of providing young people in this country with the sex education that they deserve. And then the email contains links to some online resources. One of those resources is the website Scarleteen. Scarleteen claims to offer teens sex ed for the real world. Well, let's take a look at what your child will find on Scarleteen. There's so much inappropriate content on this website, but I'm going to show you just one article titled, "When Sex is Just a Blanking Bummer." It starts off by saying sometimes sex is freaking amazing, and other times not so much. And then you can see down further in this opening paragraph some other very descriptive language that I won't take the time to read to you. But if you scroll down further in the paragraph, it goes into a section titled, "But isn't sex supposed to be about pleasure?" So this section goes on to encourage teens to be patient with themselves, with the learning curve of sex with themselves, masturbation, or sex with partners. As you can see here, it says, sex of any kind, be it masturbation or sex with partners, is primarily about seeking and intending physical and emotional pleasure. So sex is primarily about pleasure. So sex is no longer something to be held up as something special and intended for marriage, something to be shared between a man and a woman committed to each other for life. But according to this article, it's been reduced to primarily just a physical activity for pleasure, kind of like playing a game of pickup basketball or going for a bike ride on a sunny day. I mean, that's my commentary, but that's kind of how I read this article. Is this really how we want our children to view sex? This view of sex, as we know, as parents who have common sense, will have a negative consequence for our kids, both physically and emotionally. If you don't have protections on your child's devices, please add them and block access to Scarleteen. It's important to know that SIECUS is listed as a resource that was used by the Massachusetts Department of Elementary and Secondary Education in writing the health frameworks. The health frameworks include guidelines for what the Mass Department of Ed thinks should be taught in sex education class. SIECUS is also a recommended resource by the producers of comprehensive sexuality education curriculum. If your child's school is sending home links and resources for at-home study during the quarantine, it is possible that you could find SIECUS listed as a health education resource. So check what's being sent home for health or sex ed, and please feel free to get in touch with me at massinformedparents@gmail.com if you have any questions about specific resources being recommended to you. Join Massachusetts Informed Parents on Facebook to stay updated on research and information about the efforts of SIECUS, Planned Parenthood, and others to sexualize our children. Be equipped to protect your kids.